Hi, I'm Ben from Richer Sounds. HEOS is Denon's wireless multi-room audio platform, and the whole point of it is to take the faff out of getting music or TV audio everywhere in your home. It works over Wi-Fi, so there's no running cables through walls or drilling any holes. You can play the same thing in every room or completely different things in different rooms. And it's not just for standalone speakers. HEOS is built into many Denon and Marantz AV receivers, stereo amplifiers, CD players, and mini hi-fi systems. There are even HEOS devices that will allow you to add multi-room capabilities to your older devices and passive speakers without having to buy a load of new kit. All this means that your existing wired audio system can be part of the same network as your wireless speakers. It's one big connected ecosystem, but you can just start with one product and build from there. Let's start with the Denon Home range. There are three sizes of speaker. The smallest is the Home 150, you then have the bigger 250, and finally the 350, which is a bit of a beast. If you've already got a pair of passive speakers that you love, then there's the Home Amp, which lets you bring those into your HEOS ecosystem, and they'll appear in the app just like any other home speaker. For TV setups, there's the Denon 550 soundbar and the Home subwoofer for a bit of extra low-end punch. But I'll come back to those in a minute. Adding each speaker in the HEOS app is really straightforward. As you add them, the app will ask you which room or zone each one is in. Once they're all in the system, you've got loads of options for how to play your music using services such as Spotify, Tidal, Deezer, Qobuz, and Amazon Music. You can control each speaker individually, so maybe you've got one in the living room, another in the bedroom, playing something completely different, and a third in the kitchen. If you want to link them, you just drag and drop them together in the app to create a group, and now everything will play perfectly in sync. Once they're in a group, if you head over to your streaming app of choice, I'm using Tidal, you'll see that you can select the new group rather than the individual speakers, which is a function that I really enjoy. If there's a combination that you like to use often, say for example living room and kitchen, you can save that as a preset so it's ready to go with just one tap from the room section of the app. If you want to ungroup these speakers, it's as easy as just tapping on the preset again. If you've got two of the same model in the same room, like a pair of the Home 150s, you can make a stereo pair instead of having them play in mono. You just drag one speaker into the other in the app, go to menu, hit edit rooms and choose stereo pair. This will unlock a few extra options and the difference is night and day. You'll get a proper left and right separation with no delay and a much wider soundstage. Now you do need to have two of the same speaker model for this to work, so two 150s, two 250s or two 350s. You can't mix and match them, but to be honest, for stereo you really wouldn't want to. Multi-room audio isn't just limited to what you can stream either. All of the Denon Home speakers, including the soundbar and subwoofer, have an aux input, so you can connect an external audio device like a CD player or a turntable, and the audio from that input will play through the speaker it's plugged into, but also through any other speakers in the same group in the HEOS app. Now, I know that might make some hi-fi purists twitch, since the analog signal will be digitized for streaming, but the function's there if you want it. And it's great for adding older gear into a modern system. You can also connect to each speaker directly using AirPlay or Bluetooth, and the audio would be pushed out to all the speakers within that group. If you've got a hard drive full of music files, you can also make use of that because all of the home speakers have a USB port, so you can play your music files through your home using the HEOS app. Now here's some good news if you've already got a HEOS-enabled Denon or Marantz AV receiver, stereo amp or CD player. You can easily add this to your multi-room system as well. The app will point you in the right direction to add your devices. Some of them, like the home speakers, you can just add through the HEOS app, but others you need to add to your wireless network outside of the app and then log into your HEOS account. Either way, the process is really easy, and once added, you can have your HEOS-enabled devices playing in sync with all your wireless speakers around the house. There's also a bit of good news if you have a hi-fi system or an older AV receiver that you don't want to replace, but you like the sound of what HEOS has to offer. The HEOS Link is a device which will allow you to add HEOS Multiroom capability to your older devices or devices which don't have HEOS compatibility out of the box. Me, for example, I've got a Denon AV receiver at home. It's about 10 years old. It's still going strong. I have no desire to replace it, but it does predate HEOS technology. I could use the HEOS link to quickly and easily add HEOS Multiroom capability to my old AV receiver, and it would just appear as a normal zone within the HEOS app like any other speaker or device. Now that's music covered, but HEOS can also handle surround sound for your TV. This is exactly how I've got it set up at home. My front channels are the Denon 550 soundbar. I've got 2 of the 150s mounted on the wall behind the sofa as my rear left and right channels, and a home subwoofer just to fill in that low end. Setting this up was really quick. I just named my rear speakers L and R, so it's obvious which is which. You'll see why in a moment. In the app, I just group the rears together, drag in the soundbar, and I'll get the option to either create a normal group for multi-room music or use them as surround speakers. I just choose surround, tell the app which is left and which is right, and that's it. The rear channels are all set. At this point, I could stop because the soundbar and rears on their own actually produce a decent amount of bass, but adding the home subwoofer just takes it up another level. In the app, I tap on the sub, choose the soundbar to link it to, and select the appropriate crossover settings. I normally just stick with the optimized defaults, and if you're not sure what any of this means, put simply, all the low-end bass frequencies are now going to be handed over to the sub, leaving the soundbar and rears free to handle the mids and highs. The result is a surprisingly big, clean surround sound system with no noticeable delay. The sub can of course be used with the other speakers in the home range. It doesn't necessarily have to be paired with just the soundbar. Once you've got your surround sound set up, you've got a load of different options for sound outputs, such as Dolby Digital Surround, DTS Virtual X, and Dolby Atmos if it's available, and good old stereo. There's also a very effective dialogue enhancer and a night mode for watching TV without waking the neighbours, and it's also got a ton of other options as well for tweaking the volumes of individual speakers to suit the space that you're in. The beauty of HEOS is that it's completely flexible. If I decided tomorrow that I wanted to expand my system, I could just buy more speakers to put them around the house. Or if I decided for whatever reason that I didn't want a surround sound setup anymore, I could just unassign my rear speakers, rename them, move them into other rooms, and now I've just got more multi-room speakers around the house. If you're interested in seeing any of this in action for yourself, I would highly recommend you contact your local Richer Sound store and organise a demo. To find out where your local store is, click the link, and if you want to see more like this, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, I'll see you on the next one.